The following is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln and online at merealty.com.
Good morning. Thank you for tuning in to Viewpoint on 96.3 WLCN on this cold and chilly December morning. Folks, if you have any questions, kudos, you want to talk Bears for a little bit, we welcome, truly we do welcome. We have a connoisseur of the Bears here along with Jim, Father Joe. Really? And so please feel free to call in 217-648-5510. So I do want to ask you your opinion, and you and Jim can kind of weigh in. What do you think of the firing of the head coach, this past week for the Bears?
Well, my birthday was on Thanksgiving, so I didn't get my first birthday wish, but I got my second one. I figured if the Bears couldn't beat Detroit, at least maybe they'd fire their coach the next day. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm a Cub fan too, so I'm used to long suffering. I think if they're going to make a change, it's best to do it to let the now interim head coach earn his stripes down the stretch and see how he does, and give him the best shot to interview for the job for next year permanently. So we'll just see how it goes. But yeah.
Jim, you agree with that?
Oh yeah, I would think. Yeah, I'm glad they got rid of him.
Why don't you say how you really feel?
Yeah, tell us how you truly feel, Jim. You're thrilled with this firing. Yeah. So, how long has he been a coach there, though? Head coach there.
This was his third season.
Was his third season there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just seems it kept going downhill.
Well, it's been going downhill for a long time. It's one of those things we sort of get used to. It's really frustrating because, they've defensively played well all year, and you held the best offensive team in the country to 23 points on Thanksgiving Day, which I thought was great, all things considered. But when you can't perform offensively and you make mistakes like they do, it's extremely frustrating. And I think given all the tools and weapons they have on offense, to have an offensive-minded guy kind of calling the shots, I think is probably a good thing moving forward. So yeah.
So Cubs, how's the Cubs, you think, gonna fare up, for the summer? What do you think for the season?
I don't know. It's winter meetings are next week, right? Mm-hmm. So we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. But they've made some moves already. I think it's going to be a quick off season as far as making moves and such goes. So we'll just see. But it's the Cubs. We always say there's always hope, right? There's spring is eternal, but we'll see how it plays out. But they've got some money to spend. Hopefully they do. People always say, well, they need a big bat. Well, they didn't really have a whole real big bat in 2016 either. They all played well. So I'd like to see these kids come up and play. They've got some guys in AAA that are probably ready now. If they just gave them a shot like they did in 2015 when they brought Bryant and Baez and all those kids up. So they did pretty well together.
Well, there is hope, and maybe some extra prayers, possibly.
Yeah. Always starts out that way.
Do you ever, you sort of have a special connection there? Do you ever use that, come on, get this hit here, or come on, score this touchdown?
It seems like it's not working for baseball, but it's working well for my fantasy team that's sitting at 13-0 right now, which is kind of unheard of. So, anyway.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes, Well, folks, again, please feel free to call in 217-648-5510. We have Father Joe with us, and we have Beth Saucy. They're here to talk to us about the Sutton House, and welcome to both of you. What is the Sutton House exactly?
Well, it's sometimes hard to know where to start because.
Or how did it come into play? And then we can kind of lead into.
Yeah. In 2019, a group of us with the Catholic parishes in Logan County, we started a moms group, and we consistently had this trouble finding a place to meet. And we had our kids, and we needed to be able to coordinate where we met with where our kids could be while we, just had either fellowship or formation. And we started looking around for spots, and there really wasn't a place in Logan County that was set, where kids could play and the adults could meet. And so then my husband and I had the opportunity to purchase a property that is right behind Holy Family Church in Lincoln, and we had the intention of renovating the garage space into like a fellowship space that could be used by all four parishes, the school, or any extra needs for the parishes. And we started kind of building the ministry underneath the parish umbrella by putting together a hospitality tent at the county fair and running some play groups and just different things to see what the needs were. And so we're now on the point where we're working to renovate the garage and make a physical space where the moms group can live, where other parish groups can live and grow, and we can just bring people together.
And in your moms group, we want to add, it's not just, folks from the Catholic parish, is it? You have moms from other or not other parishes, but other, church
denominations.
Yes. Denominations.
Yes,
so
correct. Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your moms group.
I think that, in the season of motherhood, you're moving a lot, and it's really hard to connect with other moms because the needs of kids are so unique. And just making a priority out of that space, making it a space where we can exist, be together in the ways that we need to be together. Mm-hmm. And so we can kind of lift each other up and pray for each other. So we have a group text that's constantly rolling, and we'll send funny memes or jokes or comments on, did you check out this shop, or are your kids in this activity, or who do I contact for this reason, or pray for me about this situation. But just connecting. Mm-hmm. So connection is a big part of it.
Kind of like a lifeline that you're not alone, basically.
Yes.
So anyway, that's neat. Now, who owned the property? Because that's how you got the name.
Yes.
Correct. So who did you purchase the house?
Well, John Sutton was a longtime parishioner with Holy Family, and he owned the property. He built the house, I believe, in '94. I think it was 1994. And after he passed away, his nephews were selling as part of his estate. Mm-hmm. And so our kids go to Carroll Catholic School, and we were on our way to school one day and saw the sign, and it was you hear the angel choirs. But it was just an easy answer.
Neat.
So
We were talking last night. He was a woodworker, you said, and
Yes.
woodworking in the garage.
yes,
He's a legend. You
Yeah.
know, he was one of those parishioners that did everything. You know, and so he was always available and was so talented in so many different ways. He always was involved in all kinds of things. And so, keeping the names part of the legacy, I think, was huge for us to do.
Yes.
So the garage, I know we visited. Pastor, Father Joe, you mentioned also too about utilizing that space. How would you like to utilize that garage there at the Sutton house?
Well, I think, obviously.
Besides the house, but the garage too.
Right. I mean, as far as the garage is concerned, we're looking for a space large enough to have outreach, evangelization, whether it's parish-related events like adult ed meetings or youth ministry, moms groups, dads groups. We don't want to forget the dads, by the
Right,
way.
yeah.
Maybe we can get a dads group together when it's all said and done for like a Bears-Packers game or something like that. But to have a place large enough for our community to gather. We were talking earlier that the room we have now is shrinking. It seems like with the amount of people that are coming for our ministries that it's just not feasible enough for the kind of large group kind of settings. If we wanted to have even a coffee and donuts or something after Mass, that room is really getting awfully small too. So having those kinds of things are great. But
Well, what we're laughing at, if you want to know, everyone knows Mabel. She's wants to visit.
But also, we don't want to just sort of limit it to parish events either. I think we want it to be a community center as well for people to have a place to go, families to have a place to go, other than their own homes and things. So, yeah.
So a lot of neat things kind of growing with this idea.
Yeah. Well, and with the Logan County parishes, we have churches in Atlanta, Lincoln, Mount Pulaski, and Elkhart. And so when people move between those parishes, having a home away from home, kind of a landing space, especially for families, that's crucial to have a spot where you're not just eating in your drive-through in your car all the time. While you run between places, you have a home base, even when you're away from home.
Neat. And again, we said it's not just, you don't have to be Catholic,
Right.
to come and partake. What else are you wanting to do with a house? What's your vision for this house? Explain that to our listeners.
It could be a lot of things. And so that's really hard to say. So I think at this point, we're just saying it's an open opportunity because we don't know what's going to grow out of this. So we wanted to work with the garage, get people together. And when people come together, beautiful things happen. And so we'll see what comes next.
And it's not just the garage. It's what would you like to do with the house?
With the house, that's where I'm not sure. We could do a lot of things. So, yeah.
So, circling back to your mom's group, what do you guys actually do within your mom's group? Tell us about, some of your meetings.
Yeah.
What can someone expect or look forward to? Do they come to a mom's meeting there?
Well, that's where when we first started meeting in 2019, it was November of 2019, and we all know what happened about 3 months later. So we started out with just a book study, and we got about 3 chapters into it, and then the world shut down. And so we switched to we did a Zoom call once a week, and we had a glass of wine and chocolate, and we just talked about how we survived the week. And so we just tried to really, after that, it came more to, there weren't a lot of places where our kids could go. And because of COVID restrictions, there are even fewer places. So we could meet outside at the park, or we could, get away to like the Mexican restaurant for margaritas and queso. So we just kind of try to float with whatever our season is. So right now we're all in the sports mode. All of us have 5th grade boys, and so they're all running every direction for sports. So right now what we're doing is just a lot of texting and supporting, and we try to get together when we can. And I'm hoping that once we have a physical space, we can grow that into, maybe a weekly meeting where we just get together for prayer or, a quick book study while our kids play, or maybe our kids are doing something similar to that. But right now, everything's kind of just in that holding pattern until we have that space.
Yeah, neat. Well, we're going to pay a few bills with some commercials from our sponsors. When we come back, we got Father Joe Saucy with us, talking about the Sutton House and anything else, and we welcome callers, but we'll return in a couple of minutes.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butterburger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center makes an impact locally and beyond through a wide range of events, ministries, and outreaches. Pastors Steve and Debbie Owens invite you to worship Sunday mornings at 10:30 and attend Wednesday night Bible studies at 6:30. Connect with FGEC online, follow them on Facebook, download their app, and visit their new website at myfgec.org with live YouTube video streams as well as recordings of services and special events. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center, 304 North McLean Street in Lincoln.
Are you sick and tired of the telephone calls, text messages, and ads in the mail for Medicare open enrollment? Medicare open enrollment begins October 15th and ends December 7th. Changes made during this time will go into effect January 1, 2025. Feel free to call me, local Medicare agent Dara Entwistle, and set an appointment to go over 2025 changes and plans. My office is in downtown Lincoln, or I can meet with you at your home if you like. Again, call me, Dara Entwistle, your local Medicare agent and your friend in health insurance, 217-651-8046.
Hello, Lincoln and Logan County. This is Chris Grau from Grau Chevrolet Buick in Lincoln. When it comes time to choose someone to repair your car, truck, or SUV, don't you think you'd feel more comfortable working with the local people you know and trust? Our team in service, parts, and detail have the tools, training, and knowledge that will get your repairs done quickly, with less downtime, and at the right price. Call the local pros at 217-735-4444 at Grau Chevrolet Buick on North Kickapoo Street in Lincoln.
Hi, welcome back to Viewpoint on 96.3 WLCN. We have Father Joe with some Best Saucy, and while we're doing our commercial break, some of you haven't seen our studio, folks, but we do have bears hangings on the walls. But Jim is a huge Cardinals fan.
I don't even know how that works.
Huge.
Impossible.
I think he was dropped on his head as a youth or something.
We do have one Philly banner posting in here for Lloyd, but poor Father's sitting here just shaking his head going, I don't know
There's
about
way too much Cardinal stuff in here.
So we'll have to get some Cubs stuff for you. So anyway, but again, if you got any questions, folks, please call in 217-648-5510. So we mentioned you bought this property. It needs be updated, renovated. Yes. Tell us about the process. Have you had people reaching out to you? What are you looking for? Because you and your husband, Beth, bought this. You know, the parish did not buy this.
Right.
You guys bought this with your own money.
Yes.
So believing in our community. So what are you needing?
Sure. We hope that this will be something that everybody will come together to support and you know, have this vision realized. And so, you know, the things that we need are, you know, volunteer sweat equity, you know, anybody who wants to donate resources or time or, you know, financially, just anything that, you know, people have so many talents, so many gifts. And I think it's just a matter of people looking inside of themselves and what can I offer to this, or what do I feel the call to. But we're looking for help with design and planning, construction. We're working on things like marketing, for being able to keep people updated on what we're doing and how the progress is coming. So, people who have marketing skills or who have, financial background, who can help us kind of sort through, how we track all of this and how we put all this together and estimate our needs. But we're working also on pulling the Sutton House Project ministry out from under the church umbrella into a not-for-profit organization. And so we're working on that as well alongside of this. So, people who have maybe experience in nonprofit organizations and in, business skills and things like that they would want to contribute. So
when we talked last night, you mentioned, we're starting with the garage. What we really don't want it to look like a garage, but it started with I believe a dirt floor. You've already got some concrete poured, it sounds like.
Yep, we've poured concrete, we've roughed in plumbing for a kitchen and bathroom, so we expect to have a kitchen in there. We hope to have some great audio-visual equipment so that we can do more, bigger video screens or projections, and just a really comfortable space that's always going to be welcoming for families. And so we're trying to look at like the family as a unit, and knowing that that's where we all originate, we all come from that unit, and so trying to support that family as a unit, and make this a space that's always going to be welcoming for children, always welcoming for families, and so that takes a certain design focus, and so that's what we want to achieve there.
And Father, you mentioned, you're outgrowing space there at Holy Family for meetings in different groups, and you're wanting to start, or you have started, a high school youth group, haven't you?
Yeah, we're starting that process and building it up again. They had a really strong program prior to COVID, and then of course COVID comes, and then everyone's scattered, and so trying to rebuild that after not having it for a couple of years is always a struggle, because your kids are leaving you. They're going to college, and so it's high school outreach especially is so hugely important. They're the future of our church, and so we want to be able to create a space for them that they're happy with and that they can feel like they're comfortable in. And so, that's what Beth and I were talking the other day about, having a place where kids can just, plop on a couch, and just, be kids and hang out and that kind of stuff, which we don't have. We have a small room with, tables and chairs but this would allow us to utilize that space well to have Bible studies for our high school kids and group discussions and games and that kind of all that kind of stuff. So, but creating that space is going to be a huge thing, a huge step in the process for us to get those kids involved, more actively in not just the parish, but also just with each other as well. I think, especially in these days with what our high school kids are facing, in school and personally, spiritually, we need to be able to reach them and to create a space for them to be able to feel safe. And
safe, and then also too, it's the church, I really can't say anything. Mm-hmm. And if they go to a space like you're describing, they may feel more at ease, laid back, comfortable, maybe inviting to, open them up more, and talk about things. Mm-hmm. So that sounds really
exactly.
neat. Then you mentioned a men's group possibly in the.
Oh yeah.
Thinking about doing there.
I think I think it would be great, obviously, and we had. Our dads need an opportunity to get together too, and have that kind of outreach, because again, we look at fathers and families are huge influences, and they are the Josephs of their family, when we think of the Holy Family, and we want to be able to give them opportunities to grow spiritually too, and have an opportunity to and just come together and just be together, more than anything else, but also to be able to share their faith with each other as well.
Well, what I thought about last night, a great way to do that with you and the dads, I'm going to kind of brag on you. You're a connoisseur of barbecuing and grilling,
Yes.
so you could, possibly incorporate that over there. And,
Well, the garage isn't very far away from the grill, so it's a very easy thing to do,
Yep. Oh, yeah. Are you needing help like when the spring comes? If somebody can't help right now,
Yes.
possibly in the spring, flowers, yard work.
Yes.
What are you looking for there too, possibly?
Yeah. One of the things that we've kicked around is putting in a rosary garden or a prayer garden outside of here. And, we need help with landscaping and landscaping design. Just how do we take the exterior spaces of this and make that a prayerful space as well, or a fellowship space at the same time? So, Our plan is to be done with construction and open by fall. And so it will be a continuous process through the year of planning and implementing. So there will be jobs all along the way that we'll need help with. And then once we're open, then that's when the real work begins. Because that's where we come together and we can, have that one-to-one relationship, and we can build that community. And so we'll have programming, and we need people to come and say, this is what we need, this is what we want, and this is what I have to give. So
What's your vision? You see on social media from time to time, hi, I moved to the area. Where do I go for church? Do you think the Sutton House would be a good outreach for that? Inviting. What do you envision for that then too?
Absolutely. When you're coming to a new community, you don't have those roots yet. You don't have those connections. And so the fact that someone's going on social media and opening themselves up and saying, I'm here and I'm looking for people, that's exactly the kind of place we would want them to come to, because then we can all meet on maybe more neutral ground, and they have a chance to ask questions about our faith and about our church, and see how it fits where they are, and we can understand where they are, and so that relationship builds from there. So yes.
But like you said, it's for the community. It's like
Yes.
you want to do community outreach there too. And,
Yes.
even if you go to St. Pierre Lutheran in Emden, or if you
Right.
go to Methodist Church there in Lincoln,
Of course.
everybody's still welcome,
Yes.
invited, and like you said, in your mom's group, you have
we have women from different faith traditions, and I think that's how we live our life anyway. Our friends are across all denominations, or not practicing, and so we want this to meet people where they are, and we want this to mirror real life. This is a real space, and this is real community, and this is the real life and the walk that we are all on. And so, it's a place where people can gather, and everyone is welcome there.
I think it's a neat vision. This is wonderful. And and kudos to you and your husband for putting yourselves out there and buying property, your own money, and, and believing in the community.
Yeah. It's, we're entrepreneurs, we're farmers, and so, we run a honey business, and so, in our aggregate experience, you start to see the patterns, and you see the opportunities, and they pop up, and when it's the right time to grab one, and that was a really easy one to know.
That is neat.
Yeah.
Father, you want to add anything for our listeners for any?
I think we're talking about hospitality and how we welcome new members, and I think a lot of that comes from us too, as priests to recognize who's new, and to one of the things that we do, I try and do is after you see new people in church all the time, and after the first couple of weeks you're like, okay, give me names. You know who you are, but I think that's huge to feel like they're being acknowledged, for being there, and feeling like they're welcome there. I think a lot of times people are afraid to come because they're new, or maybe they've been away for a while, and they're afraid that people are going to look at them differently because they haven't been around for a while. And I think to allow them to feel welcome, is huge, and so hospitality is a big part of our ministry.
Yes.
Needs to be anyway.
Yeah.
So So what we're doing, the plan with Sutton House, I think, is a great benefit for that too, because it's going to allow a greater sense of hospitality, I think, as well for our families, all of them, not just the new families, but everybody. So
Neat, wonderful. You got any questions?
Well, a few random comments that have occurred to me, and then I guess I do have one question. First of all, when I heard you folks were coming, I did some research because I remembered seeing some things on our community calendar on our website about the Logan County Catholic Moms Group, and I think it was fall 2022 that you were kind of going to different restaurants and having fellowship and sharing. Just seems to me like this location would be ideal, just because, if the restaurant's busy or, like you said, people have kids in tow, maybe that's not the most conducive place for someone to sit down and have a heart-to-heart talk when they have to, look over their shoulder every 5 minutes, see what their kid's into. So this would obviously be good for that. And also what Dara had brought up, just the idea of a sort of a more informal setting where, not that there's anything wrong with the church, but again, just something a little more less structured and that just has that more informality to it, might help people open up and ask questions and things. And then one other comment is just, we talked about people helping. I mean, if businesses are interested, like if there's a landscaping business or a furniture business or audio visuals you mentioned you were in need of, folks could donate, as a business, not just as an individual as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Which kind of leads to my actual question I did have. If folks are interested in volunteering, donating, whatever it might be, who do they contact? How do they make themselves known that they would like to help?
Sure. So I do have an email address. It's suttonhousproject@gmail.com, and that's always a place where you can reach us. And then I think same with Father, contacting the parish office.
Parish office
can always connect people with us. So we're currently a part of the parish structure. We're a ministry under the parish, and so that's where we are right now. And any donations are tax deductible under the church's 501c3. And then as we grow and build into our own not-for-profit, that will adjust. But for the time being, that is a way that people can get involved.
Sure.
So.
And of course, end of the year coming and tax season coming, so there might be some businesses that would like to help out and take advantage as well.
Yes, we would welcome that.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you to both of you for coming here. Greatly appreciated, and this is so needed in our community. It is wonderful, and I guess we'll say a couple extra prayers for the Bears.
If they can't beat San Francisco down 2 running backs, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Well, folks, thank you for tuning in. The Lord and weather willing, we'll be back next week.
This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com. The preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.